Hello.
Hi, I'm Paul Milner from the charity National Numeracy, and I'm going to have a number natter with Peter Cherry about dyscalculia. So, Peter, how actually did you find out that you have dyscalculia?
Okay, so I found out I had dyscalculia, which is pronounced to rhyme with Julia, when I was a child. So I don't remember much about it, but I was always very strong at literacy, and quite weak when it came to numeracy. So I was in the top set of six for English. But then I went from the bottom to then actually going to what was then called the Special Needs Centre for maths.
Right.
So that's really when I found out.
And how does dyscalculia affect you in your daily life?
Yeah, so in my daily life, and it's definitely had, I would say it's having more of an impact as an adult. But it affects me in daily life in the fact that budgeting, particularly, is a struggle for me. Reading a speedometer, reading bus or train timetables, also judging what time to leave home. I'm a terrible kind of timekeeper, or it's challenging
Right.
for me, I should say. And
Yeah.
also forgetting numbers, misreading numbers, and forgetting times tables. I still don't know my times tables. So, yeah.
Right. And I think you just said it affects you more as an adult. I mean, how do you feel about it now compared to earlier in life?
Yeah, so when I would say as a child, I never really enjoyed doing maths. I always found it quite dry compared to English, which I felt was all about imagination and things like that, whereas maths felt quite dry. But when I was at secondary school, when I was a teenager, I really became quite acutely aware then because, as a teenager, you want to, appear the same, you don't like differences.
Mm.
And for me, it was quite a struggle to be in the top set for English and then having to go to the special needs centre for maths.
Mm.
And I used to, lie about it to friends. I used to, yeah, it was a really great big source of anxiety for me, to be honest. But as an adult, I found it starts to affect my job prospects, particularly. So I don't have a
Right.
GCSE in maths, for example, and I've tried to reset GCSE in maths, but I unfortunately haven't made a C. So the highest I've got is an F.
Mm. Mm.
And I found that that's a problem for job prospects, despite the fact that I have actually have a PhD in literature, and I've also taught for 12 years in adult education and further education. But just getting on a PGCE program is really quite difficult if you don't have a GCSE in maths.
Of course. Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, a national numeracy, we find that about one in every three adults lacks confidence with numbers, and there's all kinds of different reasons for this. But one of the reasons is dyscalculia. So, what can somebody do who thinks that they may have dyscalculia?
Well, I would say the most important thing you can do is reach out to the Dyscalculia network. Um, or Dyscalculia network, sorry, it's Julia, isn't it? Dyscalculia network, which was founded by two maths teachers and maths learning difficulty specialists, Kat Edel and Rob Jennings. And they provide so much support, and you can see them all over social media. But they provide so much support for people with dyscalculia, from setting you up with tutors who are specialised in dealing with dyscalculia. My maths tutor, I take maths lessons from someone called Amanda Davey, who's fantastic and has really kind of transformed maths from a source of anxiety for me to the point where I almost look forward to it.
Oh, wow.
And and also they're also providing different support for maths teachers as well. So it's a really great source, and for adults, it's also very important. So I've actually recently joined the advisory board as the first dyscalculic person on the advisory board, and we're talking at the moment about developing all sorts of things that can help adults, and so we've got some exciting plans for that as well.
Great. Okay. So the Dyscalculia Network.
Yes, definitely the
Brilliant. Okay.
dyscalculia
And I
network.
think the British Dyslexia
Mm.
Association also offer support. So that's the other port of call.
We do, yes.
Fantastic. And also then what can we in the UK all do to start to try and raise awareness and understanding actually around dyscalculia?
Well, I think, we're seeing a lot about kind of the strength of dyslexia, and I think we need to start thinking about what strengths dyscalculics have, and the kind of, and I think a good way to do that is really to start raising awareness about dyscalculia, to start thinking about the kind of skills that dyscalculics have and supporting dyscalculia. So I think if we start spreading the word, then we're also going to start making life easier for dyscalculics, and we can have a discussion about what it is to be dyscalculic.
So let's talk about it. And actually, in our work, we find that's the first step, talking about it, whatever the reason for lacking confidence with numbers. So let's talk more about it. Let's have number natters about number confidence. Let's have number natters about dyscalculia. Great.
Definitely.
Thanks so much, Peter Cherry.
You're very welcome. Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.